Hello friends, and welcome back to a new episode of Journal de Sylvie. Today I will be sharing with you some of my experience in travel journaling from the recent trip we took to Greece. We visited many unique places across the country. However, each destination had a completely different journaling experience. And for that reason, I will divide it into separate videos. Today, I will walk you through an adventure to Poros Island. By sharing some of my spread layouts and hoping this can give you an idea or an inspiration on how to lay out your pages, especially with this intimidation of a blank page, basically from where to start. And the second part will be how I store and label the items I collected from the island in my cabinet of curiosities. So the purpose of my trip was spending family quality time and relaxation. However, the main inspiration in my journaling was exploring. And this actually helps me to develop an observant eye and helps me to learn and appreciate many fascinating cultural and natural details around me. Layout number one is basically what I call annotated sketching. Handmade illustrations takes your journaling experience to another level. I like to annotate my sketch with letters or numbers where I refer to its description at the footnote. Make sure you capture the main outline and details while you are at the site. As for coloring and annotation, this can be done during or after the trip. Layout number two is what I call a descriptive spread. Dedicate one spread at least to describe the area you are in. So over here, I actually described the location of the island, and I described basically what I see around me from natural elements, the topography. I saw a rich pine forest, mountains, beautiful bay, beautiful rocky beach, and so on. So what was very handy in doing this is the writing board. So as you can see, when you have a blank page, one way to start is by following the alignment of this grid writing board. I start writing where the lines start. So I ended up with aligned paragraphs, and that helped me to start my spread in an organized way. But I also ended up with this extra space here, which was a perfect margin, and later on I had the idea to add titles that represent the description of each paragraph. For example, over here I said geography or maybe topography. However, those titles can be also personal, like best moment, favorite spot, and so on. Layout number three. Layout number three is also a different way to write, which is doodle first and then add the writing. So in this blank page, I only had one sticker. Again, the vibes, the decorative vibes of my journal is of an explorer. So I started by doodling in random places across the page. I was doodling about the beautiful rocks I collected, and that for some reason made it easier to fill the remaining space with my writing, whether I'm writing my feelings or again I'm describing the things I'm experiencing. So over here you will notice the paragraphs are not aligned, but they look like organized because they are filling the space between your doodling. Layout number four is creating this grid map. For some reason did not collect from that particular island any papers or tickets. So that actually prompted me to do more handmade sketches, which I enjoyed greatly. So over here I used again this very handy writing board, and I put it behind the page. I added some grids. I also added numbers on the vertical axis and some alphabet on the horizontal one. Right now it's obviously not a perfectly proportional map, but it is relatively a good representation because the grids helped a lot. I got this from the internet, and I also marked the path that I took, so can I always remember which part of the island I explored. Overall, it gives it the vintage vibe that I liked. Now, once you finish your map, the remaining space was not very hard to fill. Again, I continue doodling about items around me in the island. Layout number 5. The last layout is basically a layout where you dedicate for family and favorable moments and some pictures. I highly recommend you add your feelings instantly, even if you will complete the spread later on, but just log them right away, because probably when you write your feelings instantly, your selection of words will be more expressive and vivid. And you can later on add the pictures or leave enough space for the pictures, especially if you know the size of the picture. So those were my ideas for how to lay out your spread. And now moving on what did I collect from the island of Poros. As I mentioned, I did not collect many papers from this island, but I did collect beautiful collection of rocks and shells and pine cones. Just a quick disclaimer, before you collect any natural items from a site, just make sure it is allowed to do that. So I had beautiful collection of stones. I wish I had the time to show you each, and probably the camera doesn't do justice, but this one had like almost a dragonfly designed on it. This one was on the shape of a heart. This one had like Roman letters on it. And this actually one is the one I doodled in my journal. So the way I do this is that you can get a glass jar, a vintage one over here, and then go ahead and add all of your stones inside. As you can see. Now, the stones will be much more laminate and obvious when you add water to the jar. So over here we will add some water. I think it can take some more. Okay, that's enough. And then we're gonna close it carefully. You see all the beautiful design. Now, those jars usually come with a bundle of string and brown small tags. And if it doesn't, it's easy to create any craft paper and do a tag. Anyway, so the first thing I would like to add in my cord is label. So I had this label here ready, where it says Poros Island, and it also have the country and the year and the month. So basically make sure to add the location and the date in your tag. So this is the first thing we will pass through the string. I love doing this. And then I have those metal numbered tabs from Tim Holtz. So this is actually an option to give it more of an identification number or a serial number. It's a bonus. So if you don't have this, you just can add a number on the tag itself. And the reason I am very keen to label this properly is because if I'm gonna talk about this again in my nature journal, I want to be able to refer to that sample based on the number. So I'll see, C jar number 2, tagged so and so. So I use this metal, and it also have a hole to pass through the cord. Okay, so now we have the tag and the number, and now we are ready to pass it. Double pass here across and just make a knot. Make sure you secure it properly. And this is how it looks like. So you have the tag with the place, the name of the island, the year, and a number tag. And this is the beautiful item. So we will do the same for the big stone. So I have a bigger jar, this time is square. I feel like I have a piece, I brought a piece of this island with me back home. And they are beautiful designs. And we will add some water as well and then press it very well. And now you can actually move them and see the different beautiful design. You can also make further research about this in the nature journal. Now there is another way you can store if your collection doesn't require a jar, is to have a tin box and then cut a paper, decorate it, and again label it number 2. Here I stamped it with number 2. So I had this beautiful pine cone from Poros Island. I'll probably show you later how I preserve the pine cones. If you want to add different items of different sizes, it's a good idea to select a craft paper and use it as separated sections in your box. And then I can add this shell. Another interesting item that I found here, I thought looks very interesting. A super tiny shell, it can land. And finally I found this crystal green. Once you wet this, it looks like a glass, and I will leave it here. Now the last part, you can actually add more decoration. You can add over here a small sticker of, probably I will glue this over here. And the most important thing is labeling. This is Poros Island, so all the collection over here will be Poros Island. And back to the box. So I enjoyed this exercise a lot. I always like to document my trips as I see a great value in doing so. Please use your travel journal as a tool to help you learn and explore, and definitely not a burden. I hope you like it. Let me know what do you think, and thank you for watching. See you in the next video.